What's going on, guys? It is week 3. We are already one game in, and I hope you guys are having a lot of fun this season. I hope you guys are winning some money. We are here to talk about week 3. There's a lot of great games going on. We do not have any bye weeks yet, but unfortunately, we do have some injuries to talk about. There's just a lot of injuries across the league and a lot of things that you guys got to worry about. So I do want to talk a little bit about the injuries just because of how significant that's going to be in your consideration for quarterback play, all the positions that are affected by quarterback, as well as your defenses. So the first thing to start off, we'll go with the quarterbacks. Tua out. Carson Wentz appears to be trending towards out. So this is going to affect all of your Miami pass catchers. This is going to affect all of your Colts pass catchers. I think the Miami pass catchers should be okay, but I still downgrade them a little bit. And you have the Indianapolis Colts. They did not look good under Jacob Eason. Brett Hundley is the other starter. So QB1 for the Colts, I'm not starting. And I am going to fade the wide receiver 1 for the Colts just based on that. But as far as the defense, you're looking at Tennessee as a deep play against Indianapolis. And as far as with Miami, you're looking at the Las Vegas Raiders. And the Las Vegas Raiders, we will talk about that as one of my streams of the week. Running backs, Josh Jacobs, it doesn't look like he's going to play again. We will wait to see. There was a couple other guys limited. Antonio Gibson was limited. There's quite a few guys that we need to look at as far as the running back position. Tonight in the game, we had Christian McCaffrey go down. So if you have the Christian McCaffrey card, now that's going to be Chuba Hubbard. So that, Carolina RB2 card is not as valuable, and the RB1 card is not as valuable with Chuba Hubbard. For receivers, there's a lot of different injuries going on. Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, both were limited this week. Mari Cooper was limited. It looks like he's going to play. It looks like OBJ is going to play with Landry out. Landry is now on the IR, but Odell Beckham Jr. is out, so he is now the Cleveland wide receiver 1 card. T. Higgins is most likely going to be out, which should be an increase for your wide receiver 1 in Cincinnati, and then you should see Tyler Boyd get the bump up to the wide receiver 2 spot, and then Auden Tate would be the wide receiver 3. He's played well before, so don't be afraid to play that card. He's obviously not T. Higgins, but he does play well. So let's get straight into it with your NFT weekly quarterback streamers. So again, I said, some quarterbacks are going to be out. You're going to want to play some different variations of quarterback if you are pivoting. Quarterback 1, New York Blue, is a great matchup. The Atlanta Falcons are giving up the most points, fantasy points, to quarterbacks in the league. And even though he is the number 5 fantasy football quarterback right now, he's still he's still ranked outside of most people's top 10, even with the number 1 matchup on the week. So look for Evan Ingram to come back this week. Look for the Giants to get Kenny Galladay more involved, and look for them to pass a lot, and look for them to use Daniel Jones on the ground against an Atlanta defense that is giving up the most fantasy points towards the quarterback position. Next quarterback, he already played tonight. Sam Darnold. I hope you played him in your lineups. He played against Houston. It's a great matchup. And I know with CMC going down, things turned down a little bit, but CMC, but that's still, Sam Darnold still had a good matchup, and I still would have put him in my streamers. Denver plus the Jets. So Denver gets the Jets. Teddy Bridgewater has been playing absolutely fantastic. even with Jerry Jeudy going down, they didn't miss a beat. He was even better last week as a fantasy producer. Teddy Bridgewater offers you a very safe floor, and he is the perfect quarterback two to help you win your tournaments. Then you look at San Francisco QB1. I know that Jimmy Garoppolo may not be the best fantasy football option lately, but he has a fantastic matchup this week, and I think that he could be a sleeper this week. Chicago QB1. So you're going to save some points here because you're not used to paying up. You got a tough matchup and you got a lot of uncertainty, but you have an extremely high ceiling. So if you want to go and get a safe play like a Teddy Bridgewater and then pair him up with the Justin Fields, or if you just want to swing for the fences and put Kyler and Justin Fields together, he rushed the ball 10 times last week in limited play. He only played about a half. If he rushes the ball 15 to 20 times and throws it 20 to 30 times, you are going to see a lot of fantasy football production. You'll still see some rookie mistakes, which we saw last week, but be prepared for Justin Fields to take over that position, and he will be the QB1 moving forward. I fully expect that to happen, but for this week, you got Justin Fields against the Browns. That is a great stream. Then you have Detroit. Jared Goff 2 weeks in a row has put up top 10 production, and no one even looks at him when they're looking at their lineup. If you have the Detroit card, play it. If you have Miami or the Colts and you're looking to pivot, play it. There's other quarterbacks that are injured, dinged up. Ben Roethlisberger, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson missed time this week due to an illness. There's just injuries all over the place, and a lot of them are quarterbacks. So you may have less options to play, and you're perfectly fine with Jared Goff as your second quarterback. And the beauty of that is with a lot of these guys, other people are not going to be playing them. So if they have big weeks, it's going to be big money for you. Let's move into the tight end position. So the Giants, New York Blue, tight end 1, is looking like he's going to play this week. So if you can get that card in, and you'd probably be only 4 or 5 people to play it, and he puts in a top 5 week, you're going to go straight to the top. So Evan Ingram, if he plays, which is trending that way, will have a fantastic matchup against Atlanta. And he's going to be a low ownership guy because a lot of people don't even know if he's going to play. If he plays, put him in your lineup. Pittsburgh tight end 2. You're going with the cheaper option. Pat Freiermuth actually outsnapped Eric Ebron last week. He's already starting to take over that job. Take advantage now while the price is great. Then you have the Indianapolis Colts tight end 2. So you're going to have a lot of dink and dunks. You're going to have a lot of, a lot of short passes. The tight ends are usually the perfect safety blanket for a young quarterback. Look for Jack Doyle and Mo Alley Cox to be very involved. I'm taking the cheaper option, and that could be a stream for this week if you have an injured tight end. Jared Cook, down week last week, great week 1. Look for him to bounce back. He has the 23rd best matchup. The Colts have the 31st best. That's the 31st. The team that's ranked 31st against the tight ends is playing the Colts, and the ranked 23rd is playing against the Chargers. And this is my stream of the week for tight ends. It's Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper is going to have a wonderful performance with Jarvis Landry out. He saw 6 targets last week. You only saw that in 3 quarters. Expect him to have a big day with receivers down and having to play against the Bears. Let's talk about defenses. So you're talking about your defensive plays. I hope you played Carolina. You're going to look for teams that are letting up sacks and that are having turnovers. So if you look up teams that are giving up sacks and looking up teams that have quarterbacks or running backs that are putting the ball on the ground or getting interceptions, those are the defenses you want to play because you get 2 points every time there's an interception, 2 points every time there's a fumble. Okay? It's not just about the points. It's not just about having a good defense. You want those turnovers. You want those sacks. So you see that Denver is playing against the Jets. Zach Wilson had 4 interceptions last week. He's been sacked multiple times both weeks. You're going to want to target the Denver defense this week. Carolina versus Houston, we already talked about. This one is my stream of the week because, usually you wouldn't think about playing the Raiders defense. They're really good this year. And Miami Dolphins are allowing pressure on over 50% of their plays. Their quarterback has someone in his face. You saw what happened. Tua got injured already. Well, there's fumbles. There's going to be interceptions. Jacoby Brissett took plenty of sacks last week. Look for the Las Vegas Raiders to be one of the top scoring defenses this week. And I love their kicker. So if you want to go and play the DST plus kicker card for Las Vegas, I'm all over that. That is my stream of the week. New York Giants. The New York Blue against Atlanta card. Another very weak offensive line. You're going to have Atlanta they let up multiple sacks in both performances. They're going to do it again this week against the Giants. The Giants had one of the best defenses last year in regards to creating points off of turnovers. Look for the Giants defense to put the ball in the end zone this week and win you some money. The deepest one I have is Tennessee. Not a lot of people are going to play that one, but when you look at it, you say Tennessee against Indianapolis, I don't want to touch it, but Jacob Eason is going to be the quarterback. And the Indianapolis Colts offensive line has not played very well with the new addition of Eric Fisher at left tackle. Look for them to be a target whenever you're putting together your lineups this week. So again, just to recap, quarterbacks, I'm going with Denver quarterback 1, Carolina quarterback 1, San Francisco and Chicago quarterback 1, and Detroit QB1, with my stream of the week being the New York Blue QB1. Then you have New York Blue TE1, Pittsburgh TE2, Indianapolis TE1 or TE2, the Chargers TE1, and Cleveland TE2. I'm actually going after Cleveland TE1, actually, Cleveland TE1 as my stream of the week. Defenses. My stream of the week is the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm playing the Las Vegas Raiders plus the kicker. I also have the New York Blue versus Atlanta, Tennessee versus Indy, Denver versus the Jets, the New York Green, and Carolina versus Houston. So again, when you're looking at these and you're looking at your matchups, look for teams that have been allowing a lot of points to others. So when you're looking at, you're going the Jets, the Jaguars, those teams have been letting up a lot of production to defenses. Those are matchups that you're going to want to target. Arizona against the Jaguars, they're another great defense to play. Speaking of Arizona, 2 of my sleepers this week come from Arizona. Let's talk about Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore seems to be getting more playing time, and he's earning it. He's running over 14.3 yards after the catch, and that's no surprise. It's what he did in college. He is a electric player that is very much built like a running back, and that's what he turns into when he gets the ball. He breaks tackles, he gets down the field, and he creates after the catch. Yak is the term, yards after catch, and if anyone is familiar with Golden Tate, he used to be the yak master. Golden Tate is a very good comp for Rondale Moore. The difference is Rondale Moore is a far superior athlete, and he is much faster than Golden Tate. But he's just got a low center of gravity with a stocky build, and he's hard to bring down. He's built like a running back, so when he gets the ball in open field, he is breaking tackles left and right. The Denver RB2. Javonte Williams continues to be heavily involved, and you're getting him for a discount over the 1. Look for him to run all over the Jets this weekend and have a fantastic week. Then you have New England RB2. So if you're looking at a very, safe play, James White getting your PPR production, getting 40, 50 yards a game in the air and 20 to 30 on the ground. Very safe play in a game that the Patriots should win. Chicago wide receiver 2. So you're looking at Chicago and you're going, all right, Justin Fields, Allen Robinson. Yeah, I'm playing both those guys. David Montgomery, of course, you're going to play him. So the QB1, RB1, and the wide receiver 1, you're all going to play. And a lot of people are going to play. I love the wide receiver 2 card this week for Darnell Mooney. Look for Justin Fields to push the ball down the field. That's something he does a lot better than Andy Dalton. And you're going to be able to get Darnell Mooney right now before the breakout, because they could easily happen this week as they look for big plays out of Mooney and Fields. Fields is someone that can create, get outside of the pocket, and Mooney is someone that will be able to benefit from his ability to create and extend the play. All right, so let's talk about our stacks. Again, when you're talking about your stacks, you are talking about stacking a quarterback with a pass catcher, whether it be a receiver, whether it be a tight end. Or you can do game stacks where you're stacking, you're saying, you know what, this game is going to be the highest scoring game of the week. I'm going to stack people from both sides of the ball. 2 good offenses, 2 bad defenses. Going to be a lot of points. I want pieces on both sides of this. So, of course, the premium stacks are always going to be, you're always going to start in Kansas City, and you could also go to Green Bay. But I am going to go with Baltimore. I said it last week. I'll say it every week. Baltimore is a fantastic value if you can get Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson. I'll also say you could also pivot and go with Baltimore wide receiver 1, Marquise Brown, and you can go with Lamar Jackson. A lot of upside. Marquise Brown looks really good. And again, one of those plays that a lot of people are not so sure about, so there's going to be less ownership. Cincinnati, it's your cheapest card as far as your quarterback, and I am putting them with the Cincinnati wide receiver 1 this week. I think Jamar Chase has a huge week with T. Higgins possibly being out, and you'll be able to play him. As far as your Miami Dolphins, I'm staying away from that stack this week, even though it's a good value. And I'm going to pivot to the Denver Broncos QB1 and wide receiver 1, Teddy Bridgewater and Courtland Sutton. That's going to be another stack that I'm going to attack this week. Again, I think that he is your perfect quarterback 2. And Courtland Sutton showed us last week why everyone has been excited about him for years, and you got to see it last week. So as far as another one, you always got to play Kyler at 18 points. Kyler is he's a must start. I have him right there with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, and at 2 points less, it's a no-brainer. And of course, you're going to stack him with DeAndre Hopkins, the wide receiver 1. And I would double stack and just put him there with the wide receiver 4, which is Rondale Moore. And you are going to get the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. The RB2 is another play. It's a cheaper play that I think is a good value sleeper this week for the Arizona Cardinals. Again, I'm playing all sorts of Arizona Cardinals, and I'm going to play all sorts of Jaguars in that game. I think you can play the RB1 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think you can play the quarterback 1. This is what I talked about with the game stack. I think this is going to be one of the higher scoring games on the slate. You can play I would play the Arizona defense, but I would play Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault, or DJ Chark. And we've talked previously how DJ Chark and Marvin Jones are the 1-2 punch. I'm going to take the wide receiver 2 in this scenario versus the wide receiver 1 or 3. Marvin Jones, to me, is the clear top target getter in that offense, and I am going to target him in my lineups this week. So again, if you have any questions, please go to our live stream every Sunday at 11 o'clock right here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, NFTDraft.io. It's not too late to get those lineups in. It's not too late to start making some money. Make your fantasy football experience better by doing NFT draft tournaments. All right, guys, make sure you give me a follow as well, Dynasty Dorks Fantasy Football. I hope you guys have a great week 3, and I hope you win some money.